small conveyor, which then wraps around and feeds into um, a, lift bars made out of brick separators. And out of that, we go into my perpetual motion machine, which was just jammed a minute ago. And we won't talk about that though. So, and it's got a lot of balls in it. So once the balls leave here, after they've circulated a couple times, just because, we go into another module, and this is a cute module. It has a couple of steps leading up to the bar lifting up, and this is based on a Lego Movie 2 set. So you may recognize some of that. From there, we go into the cardan lift, and we've seen this design before. And this is one of those things that, you know, the motion of it is just interesting to watch. So you can't not watch it for a little while, you know. And it, for the most part, when there's enough balls, it grabs 4 at a time, 5 at a time, and just flips them up and fills them out. And you know, it's that stop, go, stop, motion that is really kind of interesting. Out of there, we go into an A, and we move on to Mr. Sweet's stepper, which is kind of interesting. It's based on, you know, a bunch of things going up and down, and the occasional one that's stationary. It's a little jerky, but the balls are going up there nice, so it's going to keep on working. And the fact that it's all in red and white kind of makes it.
Aragog's excavating.
From there, we have a little bit of an AQB output flexibility. Again, we like that flexibility. And we move into a stepper that's a little different. I don't think I've seen one quite like this, where there's 2 sets of steps, and the balls are still kind of serpentining their way up. From there, we go into another. Actually, this is a Brick Fair A from 2018. Out of that, we go into, and this is a new design. This is somebody made this and posted online. And again, I apologize for not knowing who this is off the top of my head, but this is a very elegant design using the banana gears to circulate up and to twist up and back. They're twisting, I don't know, about 130 degrees or so, driven by a big crank. And this thing's been working fine. It's a pretty interesting thing. And it uses the back of the banana gears to keep the balls from rolling out while it's dumping the ones that it's got.
Which is obviously foolproof based on the fact that there's no balls underneath there.
No, I would not. But they may also be leaking from the module before. You don't know. You gotta watch it before you accuse. Out of that, we go into another version of the. I don't know, what is it called? What is this? Yeah, Tom's Perpetual Prototype. I can't live that name down now, you know.
Some things stick with you your whole career, Tom.
Right. Well, so this is definitely an interpretation of my design. There's some things about it that I like. There's some things about it that need some improvement, in my opinion. And I'm allowed to have an opinion about it since it's based on my design.
You're allowed to have an opinion about all the modules.
I do, but you're allowed to ignore it. So from there, I mean, it seems to work fairly well. So from there, we go into this series of, this is a module that has a series of sweepers, long skinny fingers that kind of feed through each other and sweep the ball up a series of curves. This is a good way to get a serious amount of height without a lot of work. So once it comes out of there, it comes down a Lego thing to use up the energy, built out of lots of curved pieces and a couple of brick separators. More and more brick separators we're seeing here. Then a simple conveyor, and this drops into a new module that is based on the idea of the pins being close together when the conveyor belt is straight and that they open up on a curve, and it uses the big wheel to kind of drive this. So from there, the balls drop into a small module that has a wheel, and that small wheel module then feeds into an A. And then we go into an Archimedes screw, which is loosely based on my design from years ago. And then I'm not sure how we're going to do this.
This is a good opportunity to explain kind of the general layout of the GBC and how it's different this year. So how is this working?
So because GBC has basically exploded in the last few years, we no longer can just make everything fit in a rectangle. So what we decided to do was, we have a long skinny rectangle, was to ingress on the two ends and basically have a loop come in towards the middle and then come back out. And this allowed us to get a lot more modules on the table. And one of the advantages of this is that, we still have an inside and an outside, and we can get